Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 8 of What If Naruto was from all the clans and taken by Obito. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out What If Naruto became the Wrath of the Namikaze over on Anime King 2. And enjoy that guys. And stay in tune for a brand new episode coming over on Anime King. Yeah guys, and enjoy. And also, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post with fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And also go ahead and turn on that bell notification to see exactly when I post. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last part that we left off, the rumors went around about the death of Orochimaru. The Sound Four had told Kabuto what they saw before they were knocked out. They had no idea how they were still alive, as Kabuto informed them that they were saved by Naruto, of all people, as he had taken them back into the Land of Sound. As the words that Naruto said to him stick with him, as Kabuto started to put everyone under his control. Those that rally against him, saying that they would not serve him and serve only Lord Orochimaru, he slaughtered them. He had Gorin weakness, and that was Ukimaru, so she had to work for him. He promised Kimimaro that he will get his revenge on the one that took Orochimaru's life, and that allowed Kimimaro to follow him. But he had to make Kimimaro better, because right now he was still sick. As for Sasuke, he was rather furious. The promises about taking to Itachi to finally kill him, none of them were made a reality. Since the invasion, he has not seen Naruto, and that was really starting to anger him. Danzo Shimura had taken the office as he became Hokage of Konoha. Yes, changing everything. His root ninjas were now out in the open. There was no reason to hide them after all. He was in charge of this village. Who could go against his rule? As Danzo had made sure to play everything perfectly, he spoke to Shikaku about a good strategy plan. They needed back a tail beast. He had Jiraiya busy, so Jiraiya would not try to find Tsunade to try and take the position from him. Because out of everyone, she might be the only one that can do it, being with more support, but not by force, as he would have his root ninjas rained out on her like there was no tomorrow. He was also looking for the Sannin himself, either to kill her or to bring her back as one of the medics of Konoha. The village really needed her ability right now. But Danzo hadn't finished weighing his mind yet, if he wanted to die or not. Perhaps he could use her Senju blood. He was going to make changes to Konoha, and he will get by the Nine Tails. The Nine Tails will return back to Konoha and bring back the strength that it once had. The other villages would see them as weak right now and try to use that to attack them. But Danzo would not allow it. He would not allow any other village to overpower them. Konoha was the strongest, and that it will remain. And no one, he vowed to himself, no one will stand against his village. While that was going on, Naruto stood in front of the Council of the Sun. The people were rather petrified by how he had brutalized the Konoha shinobis, the root agents. He had slaughtered each and every one of them, completely ripped them apart, as they were here to spy on the Sun. Konoha was not taking any consideration now that Danzo was in charge. Danzo had burned any sign of negotiation with them. the sand will pay. And there was no going over that. So they need something else, they need some backing. As Naruto showed them that he was a 9 Tails Jinchuriki, they were shocked. He told them about his life, how stressful, how painful his life was. And the only thing he wanted was to get revenge on Konoha. And he was a great asset to them right now because soon enough Konoha would launch an attack on them and try to wipe them out for what they did, despite them being tricked into it or not. The Sand had no other choice but to accept him in their fold after a lot of discussing. Some of them not really agreeing to it so quickly. But still, what else could they do? And not to mention he had a tail beast. And he seemed perfectly fine, not unstable like Gaara. He sweetened the pot when he told them that he could get them an alliance with Kumo, so they would have the backing if Konoha ever to raise his hand towards them. Hearing that, they were enticed, but they told him that he has to get the alliance first. In their mind, they were just using him so that he could get the alliance and not to mention work for them. But they didn't know it was the other way around, as Naruto greeted Temari and Kankuro. And Gaara as well. Temari still hadn't forgiven him for what he did to her, but she told him that she might consider making friends with him if he continued to work to help in the Hidden Sand Village, which he promised he would. At the Hidden Rain, the real Naruto was there, as he spoke to Nagato about his plan. Nagato allowed him to do it, but Konan, she didn't trust Naruto. It was just the impression that she get from him. But still, Nagato told her there was nothing to worry about. If he turns against them, he would put him down. But for now, he's working with them and giving it his all for them to trust him, so they might as well extend the branch as well. As Naruto came because he needed Lulu, he would go for Ajisai, but he needed someone stronger. As Konan was against this, but Lulu promised that she wanted to show herself as worthy towards their cause, as he was helping with the Akatsuki plan. What would be the reason of her training her if she did not show that there was necessary reason to train her? After a while, Konan submitted, but she warned Naruto if anything happened to Lulu, but he promised nothing would. So with that, they set off towards Kumo. And yeah guys, it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So this will be this new episode. We begin this episode with Ajisai, as she was placed on a team as they were currently conducting a mission. As a girl turned towards her, she had light brown hair and brown eyes as well. Hey Ajisai, I haven't seen Lulu around lately. Where is she? Oh, you know Lulu, said Ajisai. She preferred to be alone than be with people. But now that you mention it, yeah. I had asked Lady Konan about Lulu, but she told me that she was currently busy. She did not specify or explain. Well, if Lady Angel told you that, then I'm sure everything is fine, said the brown-eyed girl. Hey, how was it? The other female of the group said. What are you talking about? Being on a team with him. As Ajisai sighed. Naruto again, huh? She said. Yeah, come on. I mean, what did you guys talk about? Why are you guys so obsessed with him? Have you seen him? Both of them said. Yeah, she's right. I mean, he's insanely hot. Yeah, he is, said Ajisai. I can admit that, but he's not really a nice person. So he's a bad boy, huh? More than you would expect, said Ajisai. Look, come on, let's just complete the mission. I bet she just bummed out because she won't be able to go on missions with him again. Yeah, she had her turn, but she didn't do anything about it. I wish I was in her position, being on a team with him back then. You and me both. As the both of them continued to run, Ajisai shook her head. If only they knew. As they thought that he was a dreamboat. Yes, he was handsome. And he was kind of cool, but he was not a kind person one bit. She was curious, though she hadn't seen Naruto either. Usually, she saw him around the Hidden Rain, but now, no sign of him, or Lulu, as she wondered what was going on. She was never really a part of the whole squad thing. She was just a filled-in member for the Tsunade exams, so she was never really that input in the whole thing. Well, at least she had her moment of shine, but she would prove herself that she was strong enough to one day be on their level. With that, she made her way in the darkness. Meanwhile, at Konoha, it was nighttime, A lot has happened in the village. For one thing, security was tight. The normal guards were still there, but they were not doing that much because the real guards were in the shadows, the root ninjas, protecting and guarding. One person was not liking this though, it was Sasuke Uchiha. As he felt eyes on him, Kakashi has not been able to train him. Kakashi was always busy. He was being sent out on missions after missions, so that he could help prepare the damn village. Sasuke didn't like that one bit, as he hardly got his training done. And he realized that he was basically alone. Sakura was no longer bugging him because of what happened to her. She was out of the hospital, and he spoke to her on several occasions, but she was just calm. She never yelled anymore. Well, not that she yelled at him, but at anyone. Not to mention, she seemed more closed in on herself ever since what happened at the forest. He saw Ino, she seemed to be recovering, but well, it was still touch and go every now and then. But they were out of the hospital, back on their feet and moving around. But so far both girls show no sign of taking up by the task of becoming kunoichis. Whatever Naruto did to them, it really scarred them badly. Sasuke, even though he didn't really like Sakura that much, well, he didn't like her as a romantic interest, but she was still his teammate, although she can be annoying at some times. She loved him, something that he realized a long time ago. But right now he had no love in his heart for anyone. The only thing he wanted was to see Itachi dead at his feet. But it was really sad to see her in a position like that. Like she was completely broken when she was in the hospital. Well, at least she was getting better. He was sure that she could recover without his interference. At the moment though, Sasuke Uchiha had fell asleep, as he continuously felt eyes on him. He was being watched in his own goddamn village, like he was some sort of flight risk or something. But this village was not teaching him anything. It was not doing anything for him. Why should he stay here in the first place? As Sasuke was asleep, he felt something. As he was brought out of his sleep, the feeling, it was so much that he was woken up, even though there was no one touching him or making a noise. His hand slowly crept under his pillow as he pulled out a kunai. He didn't launch it. The kunai was stopped by 2 fingers. The instinct to attack first. As Sasuke heard that voice, sometime very good might save your life, and yet sometime very stupid. Sasuke got up, his Sharingan spinning to life. His glare was raging towards Naruto. "Where the hell have you been?" he said. "You just left. What the hell is going on? Where have you been?" "Quiet yourself, Sasuke," said Naruto. "Don't tell me to be quiet." As Naruto turned towards him fully, with a look, Sasuke clenched his fist, but as Naruto looked at him despite not seeing his eyes, Sasuke felt chills running down his spine. As he took a gulp, "You think I'm afraid of you," he said. "You think you scare me?" As Naruto stepped forward, as Sasuke fully got out of bed. Good thing he was dressed in his shorts and a white shirt. "If you did fear me," said Naruto, "we couldn't have talked properly. Answer my questions. Where's Itachi?" As Naruto looked at him, "Itachi would probably kill you," said Naruto. "What?" "As you are right now. So it's about time that we leave, don't you think?" "Leave? And go where?" Sasuke asked. "You said yourself, Sasuke, this village has stunted your growth. It has made you weak. There's no point in staying anymore. So shall we go?" "Answer my question first. Where have you been?" Sasuke said. "The world doesn't revolve around you, Sasuke. Although I have been in the village for a week or so." "You've been here for a week?" "Calm yourself, Sasuke," said Naruto. "You might draw too much unwanted attention. After all, you are being watched." "I knew it," said Sasuke. "By who?" "You didn't even take the time to find out by who." "Savor my curiosity. You do know that you have a new Hokage, right?" "Of course I do," Sasuke said. "Oh, my apologies," said Naruto. "I thought you were so caught up in your own self. You do not realize anything is going on around you. Now, as I was saying, the new Hokage think of you as a flight risk. Sooner or later, it seems like you're not on his high priority right now. But you will be taken, Sasuke. And I assure you that you will not be able to get your revenge. What the hell are you talking about? Sasuke asks. Well, you are the last Uchiha within Konoha. And this new Hokage is a rather menacing person. He will do whatever it takes to get what he wants. So he will chain you up and force you to reproduce with several females so that your clan can be brought back to the surface. And once he's done with you, I'm sure that he will rip out your eyes and leave you for dead. What? Said Sasuke as he was completely shocked. How do you know this? As I've said, I've been in the village for about a week now. Doing a lot. There's a lot need to be done. Sasuke grumbled at that. He couldn't allow that to happen. That old man, why would he do that to me? He asks. As I said, Sasuke, your new Hokage is not a good guy. Sasuke grumbled, fine. Where the hell are we going? He asks. As Naruto turned his back to him and looked through the window. Why are you sleeping so early? He asks. I have no one to train me. I had to train myself. And I pushed myself a bit hard today. So I figure I deserve my rest, said Sasuke. Well, that is suitable, said Naruto. Pack your things and meet me at the East Gate. In 10 minutes. Don't be late. Or I will leave you. With that, he was gone in a flash. Leaving Sasuke to grumble. Well, for one thing, he was not going to stay here if this new Hokage planned to do that to him. And besides, Naruto was the only one that knew where Itachi was. And this village was no longer offering him anything. No one was training him. He was not getting stronger. What was the point of staying here? So with that, Sasuke Uchiha started to pack his things. Time skip. It wasn't that late in the night as Sasuke was making his way, but there was no one on the road in front of him. And he didn't feel the eyes on him anymore. No one was watching him. He had made sure to scout his surroundings. But there was no one there, and Naruto seemed unaffected if someone was watching them. So he was sure that there was no one there. It was then that Sasuke saw her. It was none other than Sakura. Her eyes looked rather hazy. As she was just walking. She had no bags or nothing. So Sasuke was confused by that. She stopped in front of him. The moment her eyes made contact with his, her eyes seemed to get clear. Sasuke-kun, she said. Her voice sounded rather subdued. She then glanced around. What am I doing here? As she was confused, she looked around. She didn't know what she was doing here. But she then focused back on Sasuke as she saw his bag. Sasuke-kun, what's going on? She asked. As she noticed his backpack. Sasuke looked at her. Why of all person did she have to be out here? He didn't want to see her, knowing that she would try to convince him to stay, especially in this time. Sasuke-kun, answer me, she said. Sasuke sighed as he started to walk. She reached out to grab his hand, but she stopped, as her hand trembled a bit. You're leaving, aren't you? He stopped, a distance away from her, but close enough so that they could touch if she stretched out her arms. Yes, said Sasuke. As Sakura just glanced up to the sky, she had no idea what she was doing out here, and that scared her. The last thing she could remember was that she was in her house, lying on her bed, and the next thing, she was now here. She was so confused. But now here was Sasuke as she focused back on the matter of hand. Where are you going? She asked. I don't know, said Sasuke, but this village has nothing more for me. So you're leaving me, she said. I thought with everything that happened that you would stay behind, that you would actually care, but I guess you don't. Well, you never did to begin with, did you? She asked. You don't understand the situation, Sakura. If you understand, you would see why I have to leave, but you don't. Despite how annoying you were still my teammate, and you showed me a lot. So for that I thank you. But still I cannot remain here. I have to leave. as Sakura stood there until she felt arms on her shoulders. The sensation sent shivers down her spine. Sasuke, I told you not to waste time. Sakura gulped. As she couldn't move, she couldn't turn. That voice. When Naruto had met her in the forest, when he had allowed her to see his eyes, all she saw was her in a world filled with nothing but herself dying 1,000,000 times over. She was trapped in a cycle of death and repeat. Over and over, she would be slaughtered by people she didn't even know. Ninjas, random ninjas. They would have her kill Sasuke and kill Kakashi and Sai. She had her kunai, but yet she was too weak to fight back. They overpowered her and took advantage of her. And then she was killed. Sometimes she would just be walking and her parents' house exploded. Ninjas attacking the village, and yet she couldn't fight back. And the words kept on repeating themselves. You are too weak. The world is not a fair place. Death and suffering is all over. Her mother and father wanted her to go and get therapy for everything that happened. She was having sessions with a Yamanaka. But it was hard for her to relay all of this. Countless dreams about that day. It scarred her. And now to be in his presence once again, her very being, her very soul, she could not move. Seeing that Sakura was frozen up, just let her go, we have to go, said Sasuke. No, said Naruto. What? You're the one that said don't waste time. As Naruto here parted to the side, without him even touching it. It was then that Sasuke locked eyes with him. Sasuke gripped his head. He didn't scream, but he gripped his head as he saw visions of Sakura. Countless visions. In the span of a few seconds, countless visions flashed through his head of her being the best teammate possible. Her always showing her affection and love for him. Showing him how much she cares. What are you doing to me? Said Sasuke. His three-totem Sharingan activating as well. This girl was your teammate, wasn't she not? Said Naruto. As he placed both hands inside of Sakura's face. The girl was trembling as she could not even move. What of it? Sasuke said as he glared up at Naruto. Why did you show me that? Do you see how much she cared for you? Said Naruto. What about it? You're the same one that told me I should not care. Yes, you're right about that, said Naruto. But she loves you. She would give everything for you. But I gave her a test. Remember what I said in the forest. Either she comes out stronger or she comes out broken. And as you can see, Sasuke, she's broken. And do you know what happened to broken tools? Snap! Sasuke's eyes went wide as Naruto broke her neck in a quick session. Sakura's mind barely had time to register before she was dead as she fell limp in his arms. Sasuke couldn't believe what he was seeing. He just stood there stunned. As he looked at the broken, dead form of Sakura, his anger turned to pure rage. You bastard! As he rushed towards Naruto with a kunai drawn. As Naruto looked at him with a smile, before Sasuke started to slow down. As he stopped, not even noticing that Naruto's eyes changed. As Naruto's eyes no longer showed the normal Sharingan, instead, a set of Mangekyo were there. Sasuke paused. As Naruto created a clone. The clone took the body of Sakura and vanished. As Sasuke blinked a few times, he then looked around as he saw Naruto standing there. What are we waiting for? Come on, let's go, he said. Yeah, let's, said Naruto. As they left the village. Time skip. The route agents that did not come back for their shift change. The other ones that came in. They found the bodies. Their throats were slit. Over a dozen of them killed. They quickly went off to inform Danzo Shimura about this. Once Danzo found out, he sent more route agents to spread around the village. Especially the ones that were around the Uchiha compound to keep an eye on the boy. But Sasuke was at home. safely sleeping there. It was rather early in the morning. At the Haruna household, a blood-curdling scream could be heard. The father of Sakura Haruna rushed to the room as fast as possible. As he saw his wife on the ground, tears in her eyes. What? The man paused as he saw a poor baby girl. As she was dangling, there was a rope around her neck. Tears quickly filled his eyes as he couldn't believe it. As he dropped to his knees, his wife crying. Time skip. A furious Kiba Inazaka banged on the door to Sasuke's house. The funeral for Sakura had been held not too long ago. As they heard what happened, Kiba was pissed off because Sasuke decided not to even show up. Despite everything, she was his teammate, and yet him and Sai did not even show their faces. It pissed Kiba off as he saw Ino in a worse, broken state to see that her friend had chosen the painful but easy way out. The memories still haunt her, and she took her own life. Kiba kept on banging as there was no answering. He got angry as he reared his foot back and kicked the door right down. He stepped inside. "Sasuke, you bastard! Show yourself!" It pissed him off that Sasuke would completely not even show up to her funeral. He did not even stand by her side while she was going through this pain. That bastard! But as he looked through the house, Sasuke was nowhere to be seen. He made his way towards the bedroom as he searched into her place, but Sasuke was nowhere around. The root agents that had been slaughtered last night put everything out of sync. But Sasuke was in the village. Danzo was sure of that. But the Uchiha did not even bother to show up for the funeral. Yes, that made him cold and unfeeling, but something was wrong. As Danzo sent out another check, as the root agents flashed inside, "Sir, Sasuke Uchiha is not there." "He's what?" "Sir, he's just gone." "How is that possible?" "Find him immediately," said Danzo. At once, as they flashed away, as Danzo was even more pissed. Where did that damn Uchiha go? He should have taken the Uchiha the moment he started up his plan, but he could not. It would have looked too suspicious for him to just vanish like that. But Danzo was already planning things quite perfectly to fade the Uchiha's death and completely take him away to never see the light of day once again. Because he would have an army of Uchihas by the time he was done. But now the damn brat was gone. How could he be gone? Danzo was furious. This job was really stressing him out, but he had to keep his composure. He will make Konoha great again, and nothing will stop that. Nothing! Time skip. While that was going on, Lulu was with the real Naruto. Well, who could tell nowadays, with all these Naruto popping around. As they were in a hotel, they were moving towards Kumo so they could speak to the Raikage, as Naruto had formulated a rather brilliant plan. And with her, she was a big part of it. But she had to act like she genuinely cared about him, acting like he wasn't a psychopath who enjoyed murdering people. It was for the sake of the Akatsuki. At the moment, Lulu stood over his bed as she just watched him. He was asleep. She could end him right now and save Konoha the trouble for the future, because Konoha truly believed that Naruto was a problem and that sooner or later he will bring destruction and death upon them all. But she should have hope. Although she could end him right now though. It would be so easy. He was asleep. But she chose not to, as she hoped that she was making the right choice. Meanwhile that was going on, Tsunade Senju was currently making her way towards another town. She heard what has happened in Konoha. There was no way that she was going back now. Danzo could take the position if he wants, she didn't care. She wasn't going back. but she knew that Danzo would want her to be there for her medical skills, so that is why she was constantly on the move, to throw Jiraiya off her trail and anyone that he might send after her. As both her and Shizune holding on to Tauntaun was making their way through an outskirts of a village. As the place was rather empty, no buildings, nothing around, only bushes and tall trees. That is when Tsunade's senses picked up something as she stopped. As Shizune picked it up as well. "Who is that?" she said. Both women turned as they saw a man standing there. He seemed to be a teen. On closer inspection, he had blonde hair with black strands in it. And not to mention his hair was shadowing his eyes. "Who are you?" said Tsunade. As she wondered who would be brave enough to step in front of her like this. Especially in the darkest of nights like this. In a forest, seeming like you want to cause trouble. Doesn't he know who she is? She was Tsunade Senju, one of the Sanins. "Sorry for the intrusion, but I'm here to kill the both of you." His voice was calm and steady. It caused Tsunade to laugh. "Look, I don't know who the hell you are, or what you think you're doing, but I suggest you run along before you get hurt," she said. As the person laughed. "Oh, excuse me," as he pulled back his hair. "Let me properly introduce myself. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the son of Minato, Namikaze, and Kushina Uzumaki." Tsunade's eyes went wide, as Shizune couldn't believe it. She looked towards her master, before she looked back at Naruto. Tsunade was shocked. "No, that can't be. He didn't move." Tsunade, while in a state of shock, was still able to react just in time, as she pushed Shizune out of the way. A strange knife-like projectile split through the ear where she once stood. Shizune wouldn't have been fast enough to dodge it. As it stabbed into the tree, Tsunade turned only to bring up her arms. As he landed a brutal kick, her body was thrown back as she crashed along the ground. As she rolled a bit, she picked herself up, surprised by his strength. She then saw blood, as she heard a scream, but not a human one, as Tauntaun was sliced in half. Shizune's eyes went wide, as she had barely avoided the blow and he had sliced Tauntaun, killing her pig. Tsunade leaped forward as her fist buried where he once stood, decimating the ground. "You bastard!" Shizune said as she pulled up her arm, showing a Senbon launcher. She launched several Senbon towards him. He blocked all of them with a knife. Tsunade flashed behind him, seeing that he was truly here to kill them. She had no time to speak. He turned as her fist made contact right in his chest. Something was off though as she punched him away. He broke through several trees. Before he crash landed, she wasted no time as she jumped. Dropping from the air, her feet made contact. Boom! But he was able to jump away just in time. Tsunade watched as he got up. He coughed in his hand, as there was blood. "I must say, you are truly strong. You let me hit you," she said. She saw the way he moved. He could have dodged, but no, he stood there. "Yes, I wanted to feel what a hit would feel like. From you," said Naruto. "And I must say, you are as strong as they say. You broke a few of my ribs. If I was a normal person, I doubt I would have survived that. But you're still holding back. Perhaps my words of earlier held your strength back to the maximum. You better start explaining yourself before I put you down. From what you are done to that precious pig, you're gonna pay for that." "Ah, so you care about the pig as well?" "Well, it doesn't matter. It's dead now. And more than likely what is dead never truly come back to reality." "Stop with your bullshit and tell me who you are," she said. "I have already told you." As she watched, as he touched his chest a few times, as he breathed rather calmly, showing no sign of a punctured lung or anything despite her punch fully making contact. He was rather durable. He shook his head a few times, as he wiped the blood on the ground. As her eyes narrowed towards the blood, she did not look for too long. Shizune came down from the trees, launching countless senbons as she tossed two scalpels that would have sliced right into him, judging by how they tear into the bark of a tree. "Shizune, no!" Tsunade yelled, as the woman was in a rage from losing Tauntaun. Tsunade rushed forward as Shizune got her throat grabbed. Damn it, he was fast. Tsunade pushed her speed to the max as she appeared beside him and pulled her fist back and launched it towards his face. There was no time, she had to put him in a severe condition. She couldn't allow him to hurt Shizune. He released Shizune though and dodged the fist. He then drove a fist in her stomach, causing her to stagger back before he black-handed Shizune as she slammed right into a tree. As he stepped a few feet away from them, Tsunade recovered fast as she appeared behind him, her face glowing with unrestrained power. She then launched it forward and he did not move. Instead, there was a cracking sound. Naruto stood there. There was a black ribcage in front of him. Tsunade was confused what the hell it was. On the other hand, it saved him though. "You cracked it." As Naruto clapped his hands, Shizune launched Senbon from behind, but it deflected off this monstrosity that surrounded him. "I must say you once again impressed me. It's a shame. Maybe in a better life, things would have been great for me to know you, but not this time. In this life, you must die." As he then jumped back, as her fist pushed forward and shattered whatever he was in as she applied more power. He smiled as he seemed to enjoy her breaking that first shell of just bones. The moment he landed, he blocked a fist from behind. As Shizune brought her leg up as he caught it, he used to swing her around and toss her towards Tsunade. As the both of them crashed as Tsunade caught her. "I think this should be familiar to you, don't it?" As he flashed through hand sign, he then said something that shocked her to her very core. "Wood style. Forest of enlightenment," he said. The ground exploded as massive wooden vines exploded from it and swept up Tsunade and Shizune, blowing them away, already decimating a large portion of the forest that they stood in. Once it was finished, a loud yell of frustration could be heard as Tsunade exploded out of it. Her seal activated, black markings spreading around her entire body. As Shizune had a large gash along her side, Tsunade placed her hand on the woman and started to heal her rather quickly as she winced in pain. Tsunade's wounds were already healing rather quickly. The moment she was done, she moved. Seeing her coming, Naruto tossed three of his knife forward. They stuck right into her chest, one of them stabbing her stomach, but she shrugged them off like it was nothing. She then slammed a kick right in his face by jumping. His body was launched through the air. She wasted no time as she rushed behind him. She jumped up and slammed her feet into his back, knocking him straight up in the heavens. She then pressed down so hard on the ground it broke. She then leaped. As she appeared above him, her feet pulled straight up as she brought it down. Once again, snow formed around him. As she dropped it, the snow broke by the force that he came down with. He hit the ground, now boom, as it exploded. She landed as she narrowed her gaze towards the smoke. Laughter as he burst out laughing. Now that's what I'm talking about. It's amazing to fight someone actually powerful. The strength of a Sanin is quite impressive. Well, your strength is not normal. Tsunade was surprised that he was still standing even after all of that, as he got back up to his feet. But you see, I'm quite strong as well. But too much commotion would cause a lot of unwanted guests. I say that it's time that we end this. Tsunade's mind was on the fritz right now, as she had caught a glimpse of Shizune's blood. But as long as it was not on her, she was able to keep herself stable and she had to be focused. This guy was dangerous and he was out for their blood. It was then that she dropped to her knee. Something was wrong. She then looked down as she saw the knife inside of her. "What is this?" she said. As she saw him turn his hand in an anti-clockwise motion, the knife inside of her started to turn as they wrenched. She pulled them out and threw them to the ground as they dissolved into nothing. What the hell was that? As she felt her system, she quickly started to flare up her chakra, burning out whatever he placed inside of her, as she could feel it corroding and moving inside of her like some sort of virus infecting her chakra. He merely smiled as he flipped his hair back, showing eyes that were beyond the Sharingan. It was a Mongitio. He then held out his hand and 3 more knives appeared. As he launched them, she pulled her fist back and smashed the first one as it was destroyed, as she dodged the second and third and fourth, only for him to smile even more. She then realized they were not after her. She heard a gurgle. As she turned to see Shizune, one of the knife embedded in her forehead, 2 in her chest, right where her heart was, the second one in her stomach. Tsunade-sama. As she started to fall, Tsunade rushed forward. Shizune, she yelled. Tears gathered in her eyes as she caught her before she fell. As Naruto rushed through hand sign, fire style, majestic destroyer flame. Tsunade's eyes widened when she heard that. An insane rush of heat. She was about to pick Shizune up, but he twisted his hand as one of the knife ripped out of Shizune and stabbed into her stomach, causing her to falter for just a single second. And the flame washed over her and Shizune, burning them alive. Shizune was burned into a crisp. Well, she was already dead. After all, the knife had split into her skull. Tsunade, on the other hand, as the forest was smoking, flames all around, Tsunade was a blackened ash, as she was unrecognizable, but yet she was still alive. Impressive that you're still breathing. As he clapped, I must say, you're one impressive woman. It's a shame, but having you alive would ruin my plans. As Naruto placed a foot on her throat and crushed it. It was so brittle that her head broke clean off. He then stood in the center of all the chaos and flames. As he glanced up towards the heavens. She was part Uzumaki. I thought I would actually feel something. As a smile came to his face. I guess I'm just pure evil, he thought to himself. As he found it rather amusing as he chuckled a bit. He then touched his chest, but she surely hits hard. She was one impressive woman, but still, being impressive and being strong are 2 different things. As he just walked off, leaving the forest to burn, as the wildfire would have to be put out by someone, otherwise, the whole section of the forest would be burned down to a crisp, as the bodies were consumed by the flames. They were burned down into ash. The next morning, Naruto and Lulu was on the road once again. She had taken her eyes off him for about 3 hours as she had get some rest. As she took minimum rest so she could keep eye on him just in case. But he slept through the night. It didn't look like he moved one bit. Not to mention her papers did not detect any movement. And there was no way that he could fool her papers. So with that, they were on the road once again, making their way. They were close, like insanely close, to the point where they felt eyes on them. Do you feel them? Said Naruto. I do, she said. Well then, remain calm. We are not strong enough to be able to sense they are highly sensor ninjas. Remember that, okay? Yeah, she said. As with that, they calmly made their way. The village of Kumo. As the place was on a high mountain, and there were many more mountains inside. The air was getting quite thin up here, but the citizens of Kumo were quite used to it. As Naruto calmly made his way with Lulu by his side, the both of them wearing a brown cloak that covered their head going down. As they arrived towards the gate, "What is your purpose for being here?" the gate guard asked. We wish to speak to the Raikage. Huh. You think that is how it works? That you can just walk in and speak to our leader like that, without even explaining what the hell you want? Oh, I apologize. I did not mean it to sound off like I'm demanding or anything. I just need to speak with him about some important matters. Matters that might help your village greatly. How so, the man asks. I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. It's really important though. Well, just tell him that I'm a Jinjuliki. The man raised his eyebrow at that. You are? Yes. And I hold the 9 tails. The man's eyes went wide. Can you show me some proof, he said, as Naruto lifted up his shirt and showed his seal. He created a hand sign. As one of the Volt members, that was the name of the envoys in Kumo. They were known as Volt. As the guard whispered something to him, the man nodded as the Volt vanished off. Wait here for a few minutes. As Naruto nodded, with Lulu as well. As they stood there, it didn't take too long, as Naruto could feel all the eyes on him now. They were wary of him being the 9-tail holder, thinking that he was here to cause problem or something. It didn't take too long, as the man himself appeared, calmly walking towards them. It was the Raikage. The man was buff and large. As he arrived towards the gate, what is this all about the 9-tails Jinjuliki being here? That would be me, said Naruto as he raised a hand. As he pulled back his hood. You? The Raikage said as he couldn't see his eyes. I thought Konoha had the 9-tails Jinjuliki locked away training. And yet those rumors about him disappearing. So they are true. Yes, they are. And now you're here. Do you mind telling me exactly why you're here, the Raikage said, thinking that this was some kind of ploy. Especially from what he's heard from Konoha lately. This would be a strategy to destroy Kumo so they wouldn't be able to attack them. After all, Konoha was getting weak and everyone knew that. I came here to create an alliance between yourself and the Sand. The Raikage looked at him puzzled. What? There's a lot we should discuss. Can we go somewhere private so we can talk? You can restrain my chakra so that we can talk. And what about her, the Raikage said. Leave her out of this. In fact, the only way I'll talk to you if she's out here. And if she's not being caught up in any of this. And protected. Do you understand me? It was quick to see that he cared about this girl. The Raikage thought that he could use that towards his advantage. Alright then, he said. She will not be harmed. Unless you do something stupid. You get that, correct? Understood, said Naruto. Just don't hurt her, okay? The Raikage smirked at that. This was good. Time skip. As Naruto was brought to a room. His chakra was not sealed off, that was surprising. Seems the man really trusted him. Or perhaps this was just a ploy. Brought into said room. As he was forced to sit down in a chair. But the moment he stepped inside, he felt weak. As he glanced towards the walls. A ceiling room per se. The Raikage stood on the other side. As there was a barrier, it seems, that protected him from the room. Is this suffice enough that I won't do anything stupid, said Naruto. Well, it is a start. Well, as long as you promise to leave Lulu alone. So that's her name. Yeah, said Naruto. She's okay, right? Of course. I promise I would not hurt your friend, unless you do something stupid. Now tell me, why are you here? You can understand my suspicions of you, given the whole dealings and everything regarding Konoha. Yes, I understand. I know you come to me regarding the Sand. Alright, let me start from the beginning. Yes, I left Konoha when I was 6 years old. I've heard about Kumo, that the Jinjulkis here are treated fairly, and not treated like monsters. While I was in Konoha, I was put through so much hell, treated like an abomination, beaten. I was stabbed. I was almost killed on several occasions. It went so far I tried to end my life countless of times. But I could never die because of the fox always healing me. I guess that's a good thing now, huh? But anyways, I went to the Hidden Rain. And there, I stay and hide. Because Konoha couldn't find me there. But it was still tough. I was placed in an orphanage. I grew as a range shinobi. No one suspected a thing about me. I kept that I was a Jinjuki to myself, and I was never checked. The rain doesn't focus much on kids back there, and not to mention I'm just a genin, so they don't think of me as anything special. I was able to prove my strength so I could go to Konoha for Chunin exams. But when I got there, all the hate, it all returned when they saw my face. I guess they still remember me. They saw me as a monster, as an abomination, and it hurt so much. And that sadness, that pain brought forward anger. And I really hate that place. I went back with the Hidden Sand Ninjas after there was a little bit of mishap. I suppose that you heard about the attack. The Raikage nodded. Well, the Sand was tricked by Orochimaru the Sannin. They found out about my status, being a Jinjuki. They want to recruit me into their ranks. Seeing that I don't really have anywhere to go. What about the Hidden Rain? Well, as you can see, many people died in the attack. I have not went back to the Hidden Rain, and they don't seem to even care. So yeah, and it's not like I have any friends there or family. I'm not really the most sociable person. I try, but well, the Hidden Rain is hard. So I have nothing. The Sand is trying to recruit me into their forces, and I have decided to help them. All in the name of destroying Konoha. You really hate the village that much, do you? I do, said Naruto, with all my might. After all they put me through, and after 10 long years they still see me as a monster, and I have done nothing to these people. They drove me to the point of suicide. I was a child. I was just a child, 6 years old. Do you know how that felt? The Raikage could hear the pain in the boy's voice as he spoke. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Sorry for the outburst. The Raikage just nodded. As I was saying, said Naruto as he lowered his head. I had nothing left. The rain did not care. The Sand treated Jinjuki like monsters as well. And I just don't want to be treated as a monster anymore. But they told me, since the situation is so dire, and I agreed if I was able to get you guys to join with the Hidden Sand, to prove that you will bat them against Konoha, because the both of you share a common goal. A man known as Danzo Shimura. He is raging for the Sand to be destroyed, to take over their lands and everything. And I'm sure that you wouldn't like that. The Raikage raised eyebrows as he watched the boy. I mean, if Konoha get the Land of Wind, and the Sand Shinobis under their control, they will just become more powerful. And I hate them too much to see that. I don't want them to win. So, I came here. I know that some of them think I might fail, and that you might end up, well, just killing me off if I fail, because they don't want to risk sending their own shinobis, thinking that something bad might happen. But at this point I'm willing to do anything, as long as me and Lulu get a home that we're respected in. The Raikage realized he said Lulu as well in that statement. He truly cared for that girl. This was good. You want me to join forces with the Sand to bring forward Konoha destruction? That's a big ask, even if you're a Jinjuki of the Nine-Tails, said Naruto. But you've already signed your allegiance to the Sand. No, they will treat me like a monster there as well. I'm willing to join your village and use all the power I have to fight for your village, to give my life for this village, as long as I'm not treated as a monster for what I hold, and I can control some, not all, but some of the Kyuubi's power. So I'm begging you, please, just give me a chance, said Naruto. Oh yeah, I got these for you. As Naruto reached into his coat and pulled out something, as he slipped it to the man, it went under the veil as Raikage took it. What is this? Open it, it's a present. The Raikage narrowed his gaze. Opening something from an unknown stranger, despite everything, is a rather risky move. You truly want me to trust you? I know what it might seem as, but I assure you, you will like it. The Raikage unsealed it, as he was confident in his speed that he would be fast enough to escape. And this child loved that girl out there, he could see that already, so you wouldn't risk your life. The Raikage unsealed. What was inside? It shocked the man to his very being as he couldn't believe it. As he snapped his gaze back towards Naruto, he was shaken, he was shocked. How did you... But guys, let me end episode right here. If you want to see this person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm out for now, see you guys soon. Peace.